Hello, family. So, this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. Something that has helped a lot of people regain their health back. Now, it's not magic, it takes a lot of patience, reconditioning your mindset, reconditioning your spirit, reconditioning the energy around you. So it's not magic. But then, if you're willing to be patient and go through the process, it definitely helps. There are three ways you get sick. One, poor nutrition and lifestyle choices. Two, negative emotions. Three, malfunctioning. And I'm going to go into details in all three. The human body is a masterpiece, built to last, built to carry you throughout life. It's why I always say that the body is a priceless gift, but then one that comes with responsibility. If you honor this gift that you have by treating it the way you were meant to, feeding it with nutritious foods, prioritizing a healthy lifestyle overall, it will serve you as it was meant to. But then, rather than support the body, a whole lot of people are actually working against the body by the nutrition and lifestyle choices they're making. The body is a gift that comes with a manual that you must follow to take care of it. It's just like you get a device and it comes with a manual. If you don't follow the manual, it starts to malfunction. That's the way that the body is. If you don't treat it right, it starts to malfunction. But the moment you start to honor it by making the right nutrition and lifestyle choices for it, you'll be amazed at how quickly it will turn around. If you want your body to function optimally as it was meant to, eat real food. Food from nature, not man-made food. Food that you can actually cook in your kitchen. Food that you know what ingredients are going into it. Not food that comes in a package, but food. Yam, plantain, potato, beans, protein, vegetables, fruits, real food. And then exercise regularly. Movement is life. You want to keep your body moving. You want to keep your body as active as possible. Exercise regularly. Prioritize sleep. Go to bed early and have a good night's sleep. Quality sleep. Have at least 2.7 to 3 liters of water daily. Just ensure that you are staying well hydrated. And learn to manage stress the healthy way. There is a whole lot about healthy eating and healthy lifestyle, but then we will talk more on that as we go along on this journey. But then you already know, most people, or if you've been following my status, you already know the most of the basics on healthy eating and living a healthy lifestyle generally. One important aspect that people do not look at, but that is the major problem for a lot of people, is emotions. Fear is one of the biggest killer of people, dreams, destinies, and your body, your physical body. Realize first of all that health is holistic. It is not just the absence of disease in your physical body. It is the presence of total well-being. It is an interconnection of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. That is one key that you must have that will help you fix any health issue for life. When you realize that, you are not just focusing on your body alone to heal, to restore health. You start to pay attention to everything that matters. So it is not just your physical body that guarantees you to be healthy. It is both your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. When you are well in all areas, it becomes easy for you to get well in your physical body. You see, the power that pastors have over their members is that they have conquered fear. I'll tell you a short story quickly about something I saw on social media about a young lady who, according to her, when she gained admission into the university, she was attacked and started having some sort of seizures. Sometimes it was a seizure, sometimes it was like she just pauses, like somebody pressed a pause button in the middle of whatever she's doing, and she would just stay frozen for some time. And then after a while, she comes out, and it will be like several hours would have passed. It was a really heartbreaking story. And then she went for a church program and got healed, and then came back to the church to share a testimony. Now, here's a part I want you to grab. As she was talking about her experience, right, and was giving this testimony, I saw the fright coming to her eyes. I knew immediately that something was going to happen because at some point I just saw fear coming to her face, like she was afraid that, as she's even talking about it, that thing was going to come back. And it did. She just froze at that point and just stood there. It was something like I've never seen that kind of thing before. She just stood there, frozen. And the pastor of the church knew immediately that that thing had come back. And he went straight at the girl. That is something that would have taken, like, according to her, maybe anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour for it to pass. And then she regains herself. But the pastor just went straight at her, and you could see the confidence in his eyes with which he rebuked that condition, and the girl regained herself right there on the spot. That's the kind of power that gaining control over fear gives you. You see how some people can go somewhere, one gets healed, another does not get healed. What pastors work with is your own energy. And so you will see that they will first start by inspiring confidence, faith in you, so that you can trust the process and get your healing. However, you are able to build that faith, that confidence in the process, however, you are able to build it up to match with their own energy, is what will determine ultimately if you get healed or not. But then there are levels to this power, right? There are people who requires your energy. There are people who have so mastered control over fear, who have so mastered control over the energy in the environment that they function in, that they don't even need you to make things happen. So you want to ask yourself, what is stopping you from rising to this level? Simple answer: fear. How does negative interferences come into your life, come into your environment, come into your body? It is through fear. When I was dealing with a heart condition over 10 years ago, when I started feeling better, in fact, I was okay when I became healed of that condition. It would happen that sometimes when I think back, my mind just, flashes back to the experiences I had. I would literally start feeling the symptoms coming back. But then, because I have come to understand how energy works, I counter it immediately. And the moment I counter that feeling and start reinforcing positivity, the symptoms disappear. one very, very important key that can help you start to enjoy optimal well-being is to conquer fear. Purge out fear, not just fear, negative emotions generally, fear, bitterness, anger, envy, unforgiveness, any emotions that when you start feeling a certain kind of way. You know when negative emotions come into your body. You know when you are thinking about somebody in anger. You know when you are bitter against someone. You know when you start to feel fear, to feel anxious. There is always that feeling that comes into your body, and you know that this is not a feeling of well-being. The moment you start to purge out those negative emotions from your body and you start to feel normal again and maintain that feeling for as long as possible, your body starts to heal. Does it mean that you will never feel fear? I mean, how do you go through life without feeling any of those negative emotions? How do you now enjoy optimal health when you're living and you would actually feel those emotions as long as you're alive? It doesn't mean that you won't feel them, but then don't let them settle in you. The problem is not in feeling them. The problem is not in those emotions coming and just passing. The problem is in letting them settle in you and letting them becoming a part of you. So here's one part that may be difficult. When you start to feel those negative emotions, you want to have a journal. Write them down and start to ask yourself why you're feeling that emotion. What triggers those negative emotions? The answer that will come to you may not be what you want to hear. The answer that will come to you may require you to accept responsibilities in some area and begin to do some work within yourself. Some work of healing, some work of letting go of trauma, some work of letting go of unforgiveness, forgiving somebody that may be hard for you to forgive. Some work of actually maybe even going back to apologize to someone you know that you're wronged, right? The answers will come, but then you have to be prepared. That's the tough part. You have to be prepared to let go, rise above your ego, and be open-hearted enough to accept the answer that will come and work with it. The moment you are able to conquer fear, to conquer your ego, you would have conquered all other negative emotions. And when you start to walk free of fear, free of bitterness, free of anger, free of envy, and whatever negative emotions you may have been feeling, you'll be surprised at how well you begin to feel overall. When you have done the work of dealing with whatever underlying issues that was making you feel those negative emotions in the first place, it becomes easy for you to reinforce positivity to counter them when they come. The reason why some people are not able to stay positive, to maintain that positive energy, is because of those underlying issues that are still there. So even when you're trying to reinforce positivity, the noise from all of the issues that is stirring up all the negative emotions will drown your positivity. So heal from what you need to heal from. Forgive who you need to forgive. Let go of trauma you need to let go of. So that when you are trying to reinforce positivity, those noise does not come to drown your voice. In that environment of total well-being, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being, your body starts to heal. Another thing that can cause sickness in the body is malfunctioning. when certain organs or parts of the body starts to malfunction, either as a result of genetics playing out or the body being attacked by an infection or an injury or chronic inflammation. What makes this different from the first reason I gave, which is the wrong nutrition and lifestyle choices, is that this is not something that may always be within your control. But then in situations like that, things like autoimmune conditions, nutrition and lifestyle choices also helps. In some cases may even reverse significantly, but then in some cases may help to manage and slow down the progression of such conditions. So the take home today is clean up your diet completely, especially if you're already dealing with some sort of ailment. Clean up your diet completely. Do not leave any loopholes. No occasional junks, no occasional alcohol, no occasional sugary drinks and all. Clean up your diet completely without leaving any loopholes, and then prioritize a healthy lifestyle overall, regular exercise, adequate sleep, managing stress, proper hydration and all that, and then deal with all forms of negative emotions. Purge them out of your system, purge them out of your environment. When you maintain that, eating healthy, living a healthy lifestyle, and keeping your energy field around you clean, you'll be surprised that day after day, you will begin to feel better. So let's begin today's affirmations on health. My body is a blessing. I am grateful for my body. I love my body. I respect my body. I am strong. I am full of energy. I feel good in my body. I am surrounded by healing energy. I have a healthy body. Every part of my body functions optimally. My health is perpetually improving. Remember, repeat over and over again till they settle in your spirit. And also remember what I said, have a journal. Write down your own affirmations, what resonates with you. Remember again, do not focus on the negative, focus on the positive. So you're not saying, I reject sickness, but you are saying, I walk in health and vitality. Talk to you soon.